Welcome to another segment on BPTV that we like to call Handy Andy. We do these segments just showing different home improvement type projects or products. And today we're going to be showing products. We're going to be talking about insect traps. Everyone's aware of sprays, and everyone knows one of the original type traps out that people have used the last couple of years, and that's the stink bug traps. Well, Rescue, Sterling International, Rescue Manufacturing, they have lots of different insect traps out there. So we're just going to show you some of them, how they work, and why you can be using them or why you should be using them. But everybody is aware of different sprays. There's all sorts of home defense sprays and hornet and wasp sprays, and you have yard sprays, and you could even get your organic sprays. Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, a very unique spray, but it's still a spray. It is organic, so it's safer than any of your other type of regular sprays. But we're trying to show you ways of doing things that you don't need any of these type of sprays. You can go with traps on it. One of the most common insects that people are just a nuisance for them is going to be flies. There's lots of different ways of catching flies. Probably the one everybody grew up with, I grew up with my grandparents and so forth, was the old Victor fly tape. And this was just a tape, you hang it, you pull it out, it's that yellow sticky, and there was no attractants to it. The only way that tape worked is you hung it into an area. If a fly happened to fly into it, fine, they were stuck, but that was it. There's new type of fly paper out even made by Rescue, and what Rescue found with all their researching is that you're going to see different traps are different colors. These are both for flies, for catching flies, and these have the technology where it's just all the sticky stuff when they're stuck to it. But with these traps, you're going to notice they are some very unique colors. This one has your blue and your greens and your yellows on it. And what they found in their research, they're in Washington, the state of Washington, a fabulous laboratory where they really do a lot of research into their product development. And what they found is flies are not blind. They're not colorblind in particular, and they're attracted by certain colors. So these sticky kind of traps, whether it's the ribbon, the tape, or it's this stick trap that you can I was holding it upside down, it has a hook on it, and you can just peel the paper off and hang it somewhere. These are ones that the flies are actually going to be attracted to the trap. They're not just going to be flying around and hopefully they're going to bump into them. So yes, this is still one that you just peel out. This is one that you just sit out, but they're actually going to be attracted to these traps itself. They're not just going to randomly bump into it. But along with the flies, there's fly traps itself. And these are ones that they have the attractants in them. These have the pheromone attractants to it that the flies are actually going to be attracted. Yes, it is still the bright yellow colors. There's bigger ones if you have sheds and barns and so forth. But with these itself, you're attracting them to the traps. You fill them with there's the lures that come with it, and you fill it with the water. They're attracted to it. They're stuck into the trap itself, and then from there, they die, you dump them out, and you refill them, and you could reuse these traps itself. The bag traps, or they have even a bigger version of it where it has the attractant in it, and you're also filling it up with water. But in the kits itself, there's a different attractant that has the fill lines on them, and you could just set this one down if you don't wish to hang it anywhere. This is a nice one that you can just set on a shelf, set on your picnic table, set outside the picnic area so they're attracted to keep away from you. They're going to be attractant to it via the lures that are with it. They get into the trap, they're into the water, they drown, they die, and you move on from there. Other traps, we're going to have to show you the pretty version of it. A lot of the Women in the audience, they don't mind the traps. They just don't like to look at bugs once they're caught. And in any of these type of traps, you're going to see the insects inside of it. So what the Rescue has done is they made one that looks pretty. It has that wrought iron bronze look to it, so it's not bad. It's somewhat of an attractive one. It's something that you can hang or you can sit, but you'll notice the inside packaging on here is a color that you can't see through it. So as this has the attractants inside there. There's an attractant down inside the bottom of the bag. There's openings up here at the top, so the insects, the flies are going to fly into it, and then what's going to happen, they're going to be trapped inside the bag. You're not going to have to see them though. So if this is sitting out in your patio or hanging into a corner, your neighbors or your guests or something, they're not even going to be, saying, they're not even going to know that you're catching flies with them. It's just going to be sitting there. It'll fill up. You can dump it out and continue to move on from there. Something besides flies, Japanese beetles this time of year. This is a very unique trap that they have. This is one that you just basically you open it up. It comes with the attractant, the lures once again with it. It just sits on the top of it. Then you have a hook. You can either have this hanging from a tree, or you can get one of those little shepherd hooks and hang it out in the yard, and you want to hang it away from your vegetable gardens. But the Japanese beetles, what they are is they go in cycles. Your Japanese beetles are going to go from, they start as the larvae in the ground. Those larvae grow. As they grow, they are deep down in the ground. As they mature, they move up. As they're moving up into the soil, they turn into your grubs. The grubs then are going to eat all the roots of your grass and plants that are in your yard. So they're going to kill your grass. As they mature further, they move out of the ground and they come up and turn into Japanese beetles. They thrive for a month or so as Japanese beetles. Then they lay their eggs, their legs, the larvae, and they go back, and it's just a vicious cycle on it. So the Japanese beetles, as they're beetles and going around, they're eating your plants, they're eating your rose bushes, they're eating your tomato plants, they're eating everything else. So trying to spray your entire yard area, spray your entire garden, it gets to be expensive. It gets to be a lot of insecticide. So using something like a Japanese beetle trap, just hanging it up, you're filling up the whole bag with the beetles itself. It even has a zip bottom that you can just open them back up to dump them out. Once they're in the bag, they dehydrate and die. But you can just empty it out and keep reusing it. If you're out there for a month and you need to get a new bait, you could just get the new bait for it. So Japanese beetles, you want to try and break that cycle of the beetles to the grubs to protect your plants and protect your grass and so forth. Another trap out, we could be talking about hornets, wasps, and yellow jackets. Two distinct type traps. This one is very similar to what our fly trap was, that it's just hanging up, they fill up, it has the attractants in them, and you dump them out. This is a nicer looking one. You can hang it, or you can sit it out in the yard. You can sit it off from your patio area, your picnic area. Had some, this works extremely well with the yellow jackets that go into the ground. You have those ground nests. A lot of times you're waiting and you get your can of spray, you're sneaking up on that ground nest and trying to spray it into the nest itself. All you're doing is irritating them, and they're flying all around you and stinging you. This is something that you can take, once again, maybe use one of those little shepherd hooks. You, at night, when they're in the nest, not flying around on it, get real close to the trap. You put this on a shepherd hook near it, which is what I did in our yard, and within 24 hours, this entire trap was full of yellow jackets. It has the pheromones, the attractants, and so forth in it, and they're attracted to it. You fill them up with all the hornets and wasps and yellow jackets. Less you're going to get stung, less you're going to have to worry about bees or the sprays, unless you have to worry even about the kids. But I filled one of these traps up in 24 hours with all the yellow jackets on it. And you may be concerned, traps the honeybees, because we don't want to do anything to damage the honeybees. These are not attracted, the honeybees are not attracted to these traps itself. Once again, it goes back to all the research that was done by Sterling International, by Rescue Industry. They are not attracted to it, so we're not doing any harm to any of the honeybees with it. This is just for the wasps, the hornets, the yellow jackets, all those type of bees that we really don't want around our house itself. The last trap I have, this is made by Taro. Sterling doesn't have one of those out yet. They're working on it, so they'll catch up with it. Fruit flies. Fruit flies are really big this time of year, getting into the summertime, the end of the summer, early fall. A lot of people have all that fresh produce in their yards. So you're picking your tomatoes, your peaches, and you're putting them out on the countertops. Within a day, you can have a house full of fruit flies. This is once again a trap. It has an attractant to it. You just sit this out. All those little fruit flies are going to be attracted to this instead of your fruit itself. Thousands, I mean thousands of them you could fill into these traps. This is a disposable trap. You fill it up, you empty it out, you throw it out, and just get another trap for it. So this is just showing you an array of different insect traps. So you could be catching these in traps, so you're not using any of the dangerous sprays like our society is used to on it. So that's really all I have for you today. Something new, some new products on it. I appreciate you watching this segment of Handy Andy on BPTV, and stay tuned. We'll have further episodes down the road. Thank you.